Psychology in Cape Town. She's also the resident guest counselor at Radio 786 since 2017. The name of her program is called Love Matters, where she adopts a community psychology approach and addresses challenges in the 21st century on marriage. She specializes and works with individuals and couples with the aim of enhancing their well being and their relationships. She holds an Islamic framework while integrating Western psychology principles in her approach to counseling. She's passionate about working with people and couples as she believes that the quality of our lives is determined by the quality of our relationships. And that's very true. But today she's going to be speaking to us about financial intimacy and money languages. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Sumaya Hoosain, thank you so much once again for joining us on the Nafisa Dango Show.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And to all your listeners, it's always great for me to be on the show. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, it's always a pleasure having to chat to you and getting into. I think once we're done with your segment, you actually entice us into a different space where what you spoke about actually gets us thinking about how we can change things in our lives that you spoke about for the better. And today, of course, we're talking about financial intimacy and money languages, and I think that's very important, especially with the situation that everybody's in at this moment in time post-COVID. Sister Sumaya, you on the line? Okay, we seem to have lost Sister Sumaya there for a minute. We're going to try and get her back. Basically, what she's going to talk to us a little bit about today is, we spoke before with her about the bad habits that we have that actually destroy our love marriages. But today, we're definitely going to be speaking about financial intimacy and money languages. Sister Sumaya, are you back on the line?
Marvelous, Sister Nafisa, I'm back on the line.
That's fine. We always seem to have these technical glitches. But anyway, I was just telling our listeners, we always entice ourselves through your segment into a better space. And the last we spoke, it was about, of course, our actual relationship with our spouses. But it's so nice to see that we're speaking about financial intimacy and money languages. And I think that's equally important, especially today with the COVID-19 period and the manner in which it's affected many households as such.
Absolutely. And that is why I was curious about this, to have this kind of a discussion, because, when I was doing some research to the topic, I was actually reflecting, that in my years of working with couples, I've actually never had anyone walk into my office and say, I think I want to get divorced because of money or finance. It's often because of poor communication or an issue with the in-laws or something to that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it really, really made me wonder around, certain topics pertaining to our community, mainly the Islamic. The certain topics that are sort of, that we struggle to talk about, such as, sexual intimacy. It's not a topic that we raise easily, topics such as gender-based violence, for example. Mm-hmm. And then I actually thought about, money and finance is something that we don't have to bring up. It's almost as though we keep certain topics sort of, under the rug, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But yet, according to the experts, they cite money and finances as the number one reason why couples get divorced.
Right.
So isn't that interesting to notice that? That we actually sometimes are uncomfortable talking about certain topics, and it's so important that we actually have or open up discussions around these difficult topics so that we can actually start addressing them in a healthy way, or at least start engaging around them so that we can start learning. Right?
That's so true.
So financial intimacy is basically the act of two people literally exposing their financial resources to one another in the context of a relationship. So just as physical intimacy or sexual intimacy or whatever challenges, family related social challenges that we expose to one another prior to getting married. speaking about our finances is something that we is imperative for us to have a discussion around because so much of our life is around spending and earning, you
Mm.
know. And so five things we often forget about financial tension in a relationship. So number one is that we live in a society that places high value on financial success, even though it's also a society that makes feeling financial security difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, individually, we form a complex relationship with our finances based on how societal messages about money are communicated to us by our families and institutions. And thirdly, we carry that long lineage of beliefs and behaviors as well as strategies to build into our relationship, and so does our partner. So,
Right.
we are not mindful of the idea that each one of you are coming into this relationship with your own ideas and your own relationship with money, and how your family relates to money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
most importantly, we often forget money is never just right. So let's just do a quick historical recap. Marriage has always been an economic enterprise, an alliance of families, land, resources, and wealth,
Mm.
right? Love and certain respect didn't enter this equation until the late 18th century. And in the Western world, gender equality didn't come into play until the 1970s. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, in heterosexual marriages, the man worked outside the house, gave a portion of whatever he made to his wife, and his wife made do with whatever she was given. The husband had authority, and the wife figured out her zone of independence with control. But a lot has changed since then, right?
Right.
Gender roles now have become flexible and for some obsolete. Women make up half of today's workforce, and many South African women
Mm-hmm.
outearn their husbands. Right? And so marriage itself has become also highly optional today because people are getting married much later. People are choosing to be financially, women are choosing to be more financially independent before they actually get married, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and money, as I said, is never just about money. Currency was invented as a representation of value. So we need to keep in mind our beliefs and beliefs around money aren't typically just rands and cents. It's about what it represents, right? And so money is about spaces, it's access, comfort, freedom, intimacy, links, trust, loyalty, betrayal, fairness, etc. Right? So money is tied to our sense of self-worth and our feelings of power and powerlessness. Financial success is often interpreted as proof that you're doing something, or even more so that you're worth it. Whereas
Mm.
financial failure can feel like you failed at life itself, as if you'll never get out of the hole. And so when these narratives into our relationship, they become they become entire stories about who we are and how we live. So it's not about how much spending money we give our kids. It's about whether we're generous with people, trying to be the favorite parent. It's not about how many times a week we go out to dinner. It's about whether we feel taken care of, completely safe. Right?
Mm.
So money has taken on a completely different meaning in the 21st century with our right? And
Right.
we all respond differently to these intricate questions based on how we were raised.
Mm.
So, for example, we've witnessed our fathers load up or fall into depression or take substances, for example, and then our mother berated our father. Our idea about success, failure, vulnerability in our own partnership is going to be tied to that experience. So just to give you an example how, unconsciously we take on these experiences and we basically play these experiences out based on that,
That is so
in
true.
our life.
I agree with you. And I mean, the thing is, we need to understand that things are different now because you find in a situation both couples are working. And it's so nice if you sink together and you help each other grow together. And for me, I feel if put those finances together and then work out a plan for your life going forward, say I'm going to save this much towards maybe a holiday or towards something that I really need, and let's work on it together. I think it creates a better bond in a relationship and a better trust level, because people, it's like you're working in unison as opposed to saying this is mine and that is yours, and you're going to use your things for your stuff and I'm going to use my things for mine. And I think that's a lot of the times where you find that there's a lot of problems that also surface stemming from that.
Absolutely, and so we come sometimes. There's some of us that come into the marriage with a sort of a traditional mindset of how things were done, and then there's some of us that come with a more modern mindset of how things, how we would like things to be.
Right.
And so there's often this challenge because we're coming from these two different family maps to the relationship, right? But I hear you when you say that it's so nice and it can be so great when two people are on the same path and negotiating things together, around money. It's important to note that number one, you understand that you both may be ahead of money, especially that we come with this more. The second thing is shared control, and I think that is what we speak about, that no one spouse should dominate the family finance.
Right.
So many of us grew up in a home where one parent was clearly dominant, and that dominance always has a negative effect on marriage. It's basically decreases the goodwill in the relationship, right? And so it's trying to divide responsibilities according to your skills. For example, if you're good at paying the bills on time or managing your bank account, then second that role, but don't put the decision making into one spouse, right? So every big financial decision should be made together. The third thing is policy, and this relates to shared control for goodwill and financial intimacy. Both of you need to be equal, and to remember that we are a team. That is really important. And then the fourth thing is having a common vision and values. So the word division means two visions.
Right. I'm gonna butt in there. We're gonna go for a quick ad break, and then we'll get back to you in a few seconds, Sister Sumaya. Thank you.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
Are you willing to do your part to help those in need? Water is a human right and is essential to all life. We take it for granted every single day, but many people living in Africa do not have access to clean water. Africa Muslims Agency is building water wells to assist those in need. One water well costs 12,000 Rand and benefits hundreds of people. A gift of water is a gift of life. What will your donation be, and how many lives will you change? Call Africa Muslims Agency on 011 834 8685 or donate online at africamuslimsagency.co.za.
Freedom Stationery supply Marlin and Marlin Kids pens to me and my school friends. They supply just about everything we need to help us get a better education, from books to files to rulers. In fact, any any accessory we need. Freedom Stationery. Education for the nation. What does accessory mean?
Cape Town Tours. Luxury service at affordable prices. Anytime, anywhere. Services include airport transfers, sightseeing, customized full-day tours, Islamic historical site tours. This is Kremats, mosques, Boerkaap, etc. Long-distance trips available like West Coast, Mykonos, Hermanus Garden Route, etc. All transport in and around Cape Town to meet your needs. Very versatile and flexible. Safe and reliable transport in an air-conditioned luxury car. Contact Gulam on 071 346 7069 or 074 191 6144.
ولأجل أشواق الحروف تأنقت.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
Welcome back, and we're in conversation with Sister Sumaya Hoosain, and we're discussing financial intimacy and money languages. Sister Sumaya, before we left, we were talking about the different ways of course, trying to sync as a couple and create that mutual understanding as far as financial intimacy and money languages are concerned. So let's just carry on with that and discuss the different aspects of it.
Yes. So I was mentioning, Sister Nafisa, the word division means two visions, right? So it's so important for us not to be divided, because imagine you are a team and the two of you have two visions. It's going to create a lot of conflict, right? So it means your vision is split. But the word, for example, provision, is for the vision, and so this is just my way of looking at that, that Allah provides for us, and if the two of us can have a similar vision, or we can at least negotiate what our couple vision might look like, that could be something great, So I believe that a couple needs to be on the same page regarding their finances, and that means they need to, like I said, negotiate around this. They could even do something like planning a vision board together, like, in terms of having short-term goals and long-term goals, and goals around parenting, goals around, whether we're going to go for Hajj or Umrah or holiday, whatever it is. But how are we going to spend our finances where we're both going to be on the same page and we're going to be happy about it, right? And so it's this time of the pandemic, it's really a time for us to, reevaluate what success and security really represents for us, So, with job loss and all these uncertainties, the narratives we've built up about money just became a whole lot more difficult if we really look at it in the greater scheme of things, right?
That's true.
And, we actually have the power to write the next chapter, but it is important for us to plan instead of panic. So this is really an opportunity, a time when we're moving towards the end of the year, closing the year of 2020, moving towards 2021, we can actually have a vision, and this is a year of really 2021 reprioritization across the board, from how we live, work, parent, and play, to how we spend and save. So it's an important time to make plans for the unexpected. I think COVID-19 and this pandemic, it's really taught us something.
Yes.
So remember, money is never just
I
about
agree
money.
with you, because it's, everybody thought they were so financially stable, and here came COVID and it literally, toppled their baskets inside out and upside down. And people are now in situations where they, of course, didn't anticipate to be. And, some of them are even without employment. And I think the situation is so bad out there that it was something that nobody actually foreseen. And this is what's important. And I agree with you, is being able to actually save up for that rainy day. And I think COVID was one of them.
Yes. Yeah, so like I said earlier, we must remember money is never just about money, and financial plans are also emotional plans.
Yes.
Right? So not just asking what should we cut out, for example, if one of us gets laid off or there's, a decrease in the finances, but adding how will we support each other if one of us gets laid off, right? And it's about prepping a go bag in advance of the impending climate event, and having a hard conversation about what the items in the bag mean to us, So really deciding, should this happen, what are the important things going to be in the go bag that we need, right? So those are the kinds of conversations that we should be having with our spouses moving forward now for 2021 regarding finances.
Right.
And something very interesting came out of me while I was doing this research, Sister Nafisa, and I feel that I'd really love to share it with the listeners.
Sure.
I don't know how many of our listeners actually know that. I'm not sure if you know about the 5 love languages, Sister Nafisa. Have you heard of it?
I've actually started reading that book, strangely enough. Found it in my cupboard, I think, after I don't know how many years. I probably stashed it somewhere.
Okay. Okay, so many of us are familiar with the 5 love languages, but what I just discovered recently is that we also have a money language, right?
Right.
So a money language is how you view money and the understanding of how you use money to express yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when combining finances, couples are not always on the same page. And talking about the different ways you view money and use money can be somewhat daunting for most of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But understanding your core financial values are necessary to establishing good communication about finance. So there's a psychologist by the name of Kenneth Doyle, and he's a financial psychologist.
Right.
And he breaks the money languages down into 4 basic profiles. Right?
Okay.
And so for the first one is the driver. And the driver is someone who equates money to success. And having money protects against the fear of incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
And the more money they have, the more successful and competent they feel. Drivers communicate love by showing what money has done to improve their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But the greatest weakness of this money language is that drivers can be overly dependent on money for their self-esteem. They might feel a deep sense of inadequacy when they lack money, and they may tend to be more materialistic. That's the first one, the driver.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is the analytic. And analytics are people who view money as a source of security to protect them from life's difficulties.
Right.
They tend to be very structured and organized in their approach to money and are more likely to establish a budget and stick to it. They are well structured financially, and they are good long-range money planners. The analytic communicates love by saving money, thereby looking out for the future well-being and interests of their loved ones. The weakness of analytics is that they tend to be unyielding and legalistic regarding budgeting and money issues. And it's common for people who are around analytics to feel less important than money.
Mm-hmm.
Analytics can unintentionally communicate a disregard for the feelings of others because of a conservative financial attitude, right? That's the second one. The third one is the amiable. And relationships and people are the focus of the financial desires of the amiable. To them, money means love and affection. A lack of money translates as an inability to demonstrate love. Amiables communicate love by sharing what they have with those around them, especially family and friends. The weaknesses is that while amiables are generous and good-hearted, they are often poor money managers and may lack long-range financial planning skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is the expressive. And so to the expressive, money is acceptance. It purchases the respect, the admiration of others. It provides the basis of relationships with desirable people. Expressives communicate love by shopping, buying, spending to gain acceptance from a select group. This language can be used in a negative way to hide feelings of pain, insecurity, or incompetence.
Mm.
And expressives can become overly dependent on money to solve problems and calm fears. Right? So this was very informative for me, because if we can understand, put ourselves at least in one profile, we get to understand our spouse's profiles, we can more or less support each other, knowing that this is our profile, right?
Yes.
And how do we manage that, knowing that we have these financial profiles, right? So being able to understand how you and your partner react to money will allow you to speak openly and honestly when discussing finances. And understanding and validating your partner's money language can make it easier to come to agreement regarding your mutual financial decisions. So more than likely, you and your partner will have different money languages and therefore different approaches to how you make decisions about money. And this is completely acceptable, and having a healthy outlook of how each other thinks about finances will help you find common ground.
Right.
And so some of the questions we can ask, we can have open up these good discussions with our spouses. And so as you embark on making a new financial plan for 2021, we can really get to the heart of what money represents for each and every one of us, and deepening our financial partnerships And so these are some of the questions we can ask each other. For example, number one, you could ask your spouse, what does having money mean to you? Right? What does it mean to be good with money? Because what it means for me to be good with money may be completely different to you.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
Everybody's outlook as far as that is
Yes.
concerned is different.
Yes.
And I think it's having to, especially within a couple, to be able to find that sync, where you understand each other on a mutual basis, because, your partner can be thinking one way and you think another, but it's having to meet halfway and see how you can actually sort this out on a mutual basis.
Yes. And it's really a tough one because, what I've also found is like, sometimes we have females that have this notion, what will you think if I speak about money? What do you think I'm a gold digger? So we have all these myths. We have a lot of myths around money. And, will it be seen that I'm so into dunya, I'm so materialistic? But
Right.
we need to face the reality that, money is a daily exchange. It is an energetic exchange, and we use our money in the areas of what we value. That is the way it will go. And so if we can also look at it in that light, that the spending is around where we place more value, So like, it was shared here with the money languages, that, for example, a person that is want more security for their family, that they will perhaps save, and perhaps these are the people that may have done well now over this period of COVID-19, the analytic,
Yes.
so spending and looking out for a rainy day and is what we really need to focus on, how we're going to manage these difficult, challenging periods moving forward, inshallah. But most importantly, how are we going to support each other, and what does that mean in relationship? Because money can really, it's at the core of what shatters many families, Sister Nafisa.
That is very true. You find many people, families are starting to fall apart, especially now during this COVID-19 period due to financial situations. And it's really not a nice thing, because you see families that, were pulling together really nicely, and just due to that one aspect, you see them falling apart. So I think you need to leave us with a few words of advice there. We seem to be running out of time. It's always good chatting to you, but there never seems to be enough time.
It's always the case with Nafisa. What I can say, I think I'm moving towards December now. Many of us are on holiday, and while we all like to be festive, and do all the holiday things and just chill out, we need to take some time out to really have some difficult conversations.
That is
true. Because if we're not making that plan moving forward, and being conscious that these plans and these conversations need to be had, we're going to find ourselves in a little bit of a pickle, should we not plan.
That is so true. Jazakallah so much for joining us this afternoon and enticing us into a better space about financial intimacy and money languages, and making us understand it better so that we can find it, a way to sync, as I said, with our partners, and help ourselves move this bandwagon together, but also by maintaining that relationship at the same time.
Absolutely.
Thank
it's
you.
Quite a challenging one.
It sure is. It hasn't been an easy period for everybody.
Yes.
But we want to thank you so much for joining us once again. It's always enlightening having these conversations with you. As I said, you entice us into a better space. We'd love to wish you a lovely week going forward. And inshallah, we look forward to chatting to you real soon.
Inshallah.
So you take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
What a wonderful conversation with Sister Sumaya Hoosain, of course, teaching us about our financial intimacy and money languages, not realizing that we not just have love languages amongst our spouses, but having to be able to understand those intimate financial and money languages in order to be able to create better relationships and a better environment at home. We're going to go for a quick break. Stay with us. We have Sister Khadija Mia after this.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.
لا تقل لوحدي أو كيف السبيل